So we're talking about the L, huh?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, when I first played the when I played it way back when it was when with the spawn lake and everything, there weren't as many dinosaurs, and so it was it was something unique, different, and then you got it, then I got it, and then we played it more hardcore, and they added more stuff to the game. We would RP, you and I, and fool around. You be a T-Rex, a white T-Rex, and tear people to shreds. I forget how often you kill things and nothing ever was able to kill you. What was the most you killed, by the way?
like 30ish. See, this person just said just because I enjoyed a game does not mean it has potential. Like if you enjoy a game, it has potential.
I mean, we enjoy the Isle. I mean, but it, like we say, it had its potential. But like you've been saying, Dondi keeps promising stuff that hasn't really been happening. I mean, it's been a slow progression right now. You know, with the whole nesting issues that they've been having and stuff, and the fact that humans haven't happened yet, as like you've been saying.
Because every early access game has potential. It's why it's in early access. The game has potential to be something.
What Subnautica, for example, is early access, and it's doing pretty good right now. What else is in early access right now? I think Space NG's was too for a little while. So I can't think of any others to give an example of though. But most people, when they took down Sandbox, most people griped about how they liked Sandbox. They didn't like progression. They didn't like having to play forever, trying to get to a certain point. And even Dondi spoke out and said that if you don't like surviving, go play another game.
Like this person said, like I liked it. I thought I had potential when I said it. I was like, no, I played progression, and I'm like, but here's the thing: when like I didn't like when I died. Who likes when they die in progression?
No
Like
one,
you
not even
spend
me. I don't
hours.
either. I don't either.
Like nobody likes it. You like, and the fact of the matter is the player base has been cut. There's not as many players playing. Look at the reviews for God's sake. How do you go from like very positive?
People wanted their Sandbox back, and when they finally got it, they were happy, and then it was taken away. And people are like, what? Why? And so it upset them. I mean, I liked Sandbox too, don't get me wrong, and I sort of liked progression, but it was tough. It was tough.
See, I played over 270 something hours of it, and this person's saying they're only judging it from what they saw. I played 278 hours, so there's no way this person can, it's.
Keep going.
It's just confusing to see these people say it has potential, yet where's the potential?
So what do you think they should do, Tyler, to gain potential?
Fix the damn game. That's all I can say. I would have to be here forever to say they need to fix this and that.
Give an example of something they need to fix.
They need to fix for one. They need to fix the one thing that I have a problem with is the hitboxes for everything and the Like I don't have a problem with things being OP, but there are some things that just make the game unfair.
For here's an example. Here's an example. Sorry, here's an example of overpoweredness. They buffed the T-Rex's damage, bite damage, and now it literally, from what I've been reading, it literally insta kills almost everything except the hypo. It literally can chomp down on anything and kill it almost. I mean, the hypo could go out there and just be like, "I'm going to eat you," and that's all you, and it was game over. So, I mean, I agree with you, Tyler. I only played 96 hours of the game, but I can say something, I guess, because we've been here since the game was at Spawn, since Spawn Lake happened, came and went. And Spawn Lake was a great place to go. We had a great time there. We loved it. We loved Sandbox. The community was cancer. Yeah, Tyler, tell them about the community. So, I mean, we met some.
I can't take the. I'm trying to critique this. They said I took it out of context.
Look, don't get me wrong. Dinosaur games are great. There are a few great dinosaur games out there, like Dino Crisis 2 and 1 are great dinosaur games. The Primal Carnage games are great. I'd see that soda. Great games. What's the other game that we have that we haven't played in a while? The Hunter Primal is a good dinosaur game ish. Orion Prelude is another one. What's another one we have? Ark is kind of so.
See, the Ark is at least what it wants to be, a realistic survival dinosaur game. It promised on that. They said we want to fix for optimization. It got better. That is the best representation of a game going right.
Yeah.
And when Saurian comes out, if you heard about that, that thing is gonna just tear up.
Yeah, I know.
See, it's
yeah, guys. Sorry. There's another game coming. It's on Kickstarter right now. I'm recording this, Tyler.
Oh.
I'm gonna put this up on my channel because I'm mean. No, I feel like doing this because I want you to listen to yourself talk later. Saurian is a game on Kickstarter that I actually discovered and showed to Tyler, and Tyler was like, "Oh, what's this? What engine? It's made on Unreal Engine, right?" Yeah, it's being made on Unreal Engine. It looks gorgeous. And as Tyler knows, and you all know, I'm a sucker for Unreal Engine games. But the Isle had potential, and there were even humans promised, and we still haven't seen them. They were supposed to come out this week. That never happened. Didn't it, Tyler?
No. And see, the problem about this is the people that try to defend the game have become a minority. This game used to be heavily defended.
Even Tyler used to defend this game, sort of. He did. I don't remember what exactly he defended, though.
It's like somebody wants to say people would like to say I defend the game because, they'll say it's the game itself. The Isle has been out for a year. The player count has went down. The fact of the matter is, people cannot critique this game because they feel it's still in early access. What's the point? Early access, you're meant to critique it.
In early access, it means criticize until there's nothing to criticize anymore, which there always will be. Early access means there's always going to be something added that we're going to look at and go, okay, what does this for? What does it do? What does it mean? Where is this going? That kind of thing. It's kind of like. Go ahead, sir.
No, keep going. I wanted to hear what you had to say.
It's like, I was gonna say it's like YouTube, in a sense. YouTube is like you're in the early access. It's always doing something, and although YouTube doesn't tell us that all the time what they're doing, and sometimes what they do kind of screws everybody up a little bit, at least they're doing something, but the Isle is a game, it's not a giant community website. Even though the community of the Isle is very cringily cancerous at the moment. I mean, the Isle community is, I guess, that's how I could say, full of people who don't entirely understand how a early access game is supposed to be necessarily. I don't know. I can't entirely say. But what I do know is that most of the time they don't understand the fact that we're expecting what we're promised, and we're not being satisfied.
The devs are probably the one thing that you look for a game that you hope, you know. The problem that I have with the devs is Dondi is a very intelligent guy from what I've seen. You know.
I mean, give him props. He's trying.
I'll give him props. He's tried, but the thing is about he doesn't take advice. As in early access is meant to build up on the game. You're meant to take opinions and ideas from the community. The community is what makes early access a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, Dondi has not went up on that. For example, he just says, you know, everyone is childish. You know, there's this mob mentality of people just saying, well, Sandbox made this game. Well, no offense, Sandbox did make this game. The highest player count, you go to Steam charts, look at the time spent. Sandbox, when this game, had over 1,000 players playing every single day. Now we're going into 500, 700.
3.
It's shameful to see where the game has went.
Now, Tyler, I completely agree with you, but I wanted to tell you this. I've never developed a game, you've never developed a game, but one problem with a community control game is that sometimes it can be very difficult for a developer to sift through all of the complaints and uproars and stuff and the fan base and find the people that are like the critics that have put up like walls and walls and walls and walls of like, okay, this is what needs to be done, this is what needs to be done. But on the other hand, you're right.
Sorry to interject. It's
so on the one hand, you're right. He should probably be looking at what we're saying, but on the other hand, he's probably having a hard time finding everything because he's sifting through all these complainers, as it were. I don't know. I don't know what Dondi does. I'm not Dondi. We're not Dondi. We're not making a game like him. But I mean, right now they have Spinosaurus out. I've been told. So, like they've been testing Spinosaurus, and there's already like footage of it on YouTube. It looks gorgeous. I haven't heard its roar yet, but I've seen it. Tyler's played the hypo. We can tell them about that.
I'm pretty sure anyone who would like watch this would understand what the hypo is.
Yeah. It's a gorgeous creature. If I could record the Isle just once, I'd get Tyler playing that thing, but I can't because for some dumb reason OBS won't record the Isle and it stinks. So, but right now Tyler and I are just waiting for the humans to come out, and we're also waiting for the other dinosaur game that's coming out, which I haven't checked. I haven't checked when it's coming out, but I'll probably have to look into it again.
Like longevity is like this whole thing called a long life. The Isle, people thought it was kind of like longevity. It's gonna be this game that will go on forever, be the best dinosaur game. Yet, look what happened. The game is just going downwards, and the fact is, Sandbox is like a conditional like mode. Well, unconditionally, if the game's going well, they'll add it back, or at the end of the game is when they might add it back. Does anyone know that the Isle might be in like early access for 2-3 years?
At the rate it's going, it's going to be in there for like the remainder of its existence. I mean, sure, like we've been saying, in Sandbox, you had the good players, you had the bad players, you had the what were they called, the Care Bears. You had
See, but the problem is that there's a thing called spontaneity, I believe it is when it's like something sort of like unplanned events. Means they took Sandbox out of nowhere, and for me, like no one understood like why are you taking out Sandbox, and then because they wanted to focus on progression. Okay, progression is fully out. You know, I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh, Sandbox is the best thing ever. That's all it should be. No, I understand why progression's in there. I played it. Like, I had 167 hours before Sandbox was taken out. I have 278. Those hours were put on progression. I understand what it's like to play progression. And progression's not bad, but the fact that adding on this growth is just broken. Like, no one can tell me otherwise.
and now they've added nesting. They've added all this other stuff that I don't even remember the names of. Any dinosaur can kill you now. You play this little thing that looks like an owl midget. Why? I mean, the Dryo was painful enough to play, but then you have this owl thing that can't even do anything. It literally can't do anything.
And they took it out. They still have it, but they're adding all these, like they added the Giga and they added. See, the problem about this is their models are so lackluster. If you look at the Giga, their model representation is like an acro. They're basically just going
Reskinning it.
They're reskinning it, just meshing the textures a bit, kind of expanding them, making them a little bit wider, and then there's the Giga. And I will never play the Isle until I see progression. You get what I did there, but it's not.
Or until humans appear.
We'll see how that goes.
I'm keeping the Isle installed until they add humans, and then I'll tell Tyler to get his butt onto the Isle, and then
and then I'll play it.
We'll probably both be playing humans, and I'll find some way to record it somehow. But let's see. Another thing that was always a problem, besides all the Care Bears and the good players, bad players, you also had the constant killers that would kill you on the spot no matter what you do. Which was what it was supposed to be. They're carnivores. They're going to instantly kill you on the spot.
See, herbivores were always underpowered, and when they got a buff, I was okay with it. I didn't really play the game when it. So let me understand that I did not play the game when the herbivores were buffed. So I don't know, but herbivores became. People say herbivores need to be overpowered. Well, first off, you're gonna tell me that the Shantu, or Shantosaurus, I believe it's called, somehow can one hit any sort of dinosaur, any sort of carnivore, with a stomp.
Okay.
But a T-Rex cannot bite it, and then it's on the head. Then why can't a T-Rex bite it in the neck and kill it?
True. I mean, I could understand it one hitting smaller, like small carnivores, but not the T-Rex, not the Allosaurus, maybe the Velociraptor, maybe 2 hits instead of 1, maybe at the most 3, but not just 1 hit, done. Because the Shantu, when we played the Isle Sandbox Spawn Lake Edition, that's what I like to call it, I liked the Shantu because it didn't feel underpowered or overpowered. It felt in the middle whenever I saw you play it or anyone else play it. It was still, you always jumping.
The stomp I get deserves to be like you're stomping on something. I get that, but I don't know. The game's taking weird steps.
And then you have the Gallimimus, which kicks everything. Yes, I play the Gallimimus a lot. So, cause why not? The Gallimimuses are derpy creatures. I mean, in Jurassic Park 2, they're... Well, no, those are... What are those again, Tyler?
What?
The tiny dinosaurs. What are they called?
They call them Takubas, like a Pituosaurus.
Pituosaurus.
Yeah, Pituosaurus, I believe it is.
Okay. They had like a... I forget what we used to call them. I think with like herpes or something. I can't remember what they were called. But yeah, the Brachiosaurus, that was understandable. When that thing lands on you, it's understandable that you die. Because that thing's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Triceratops was understandable, headbutts you. The Ankylosaurus with its bony tail
I get it. I got it.
and its little murr, its little cow noises. That was understandable. And then you have what's weird is that on the whenever we saw Allosauruses, they were like the jerks of the town, right, Taylor? The Allosauruses.
Mm-hmm.
The Velociraptors, you weren't really sure what they were going to do. Either they will be nice to you, or they'll gain up on you and murder you horribly. Some of them just jump on you for the ride. Um, um, then we had the boneheads. I forgot what those are called. The ones with the squealing noise.
Mm-hmm.
The tutor things. Those
Yeah,
things.
they sound like a cow.
Yeah.
The problem about the real game is the community. The community of the Isle is it's always been bad. Let's point that it's always been bad, but recently it's got
Worse.
awful.
It's gotten pandemoniumly awful.
Mm-hmm.
So, Isle community, step your game up. Stop being awful, please. There are better things to do in life than whine about something you don't have control over. I mean, you do have control. You just need to not abuse it.
See, the problem about a lot of people, like, there was this incident. We're not gonna get into too much detail, but Phil, there was an incident where if you ever get in an argument on the Isle, you basically people like to go to you, and like I was told, like, why didn't you defend said person? And I'm like, I am in control of what I say. I am in justice for what I say. I am not here to monitor another man for what he has to say. Like Phil would say that he regretted some things he said. But I'm not gonna sit here and say I monitor another man. You whatever you say, you say. I am in control of what I say. I am, meant to. But I don't know. A lot of people like to.
You see, control what people say. What people say matters. What people say will have an effect always, no matter what they're saying to whoever. And if people are just lashing out at everybody because of something that's not working right, then you have to find a means of somehow seeing through the fact that even though whatever it is isn't working, it will eventually, if it might not work to the way you want it to be, but it will work. Well, in the case of the Isle and its community, the community needs to grow up and realize that in the end, it's Dante's game. He does with it what he wants to do with it, and we don't like it much at all. It was a great game before they did this whole escapade thing. I understand when Dante did what he did with when he took out Sandbox at first, Tyler even told me this, that he understood that they were just trying to get, progression worked out, and then we're going to put Sandbox back in because they wanted to have everyone play around with survival, just so they could get, okay, this is survival, instead of just in Sandbox you can play any dinosaur you want, you can run to this lush thing here, this meaty thing here, and just kill it. No, in survival you have to literally stay alive. That's it. But they kind of were like, nope, we're not putting Sandbox back, and people get upset, and then they put Sandbox back, people piled in. I mean, I'm not kidding, when Tyler and I found out Sandbox was back, we tried piling in, and those servers were stuffed. People were just piling in, and just, it was like every man for himself kind of thing. And then they took Sandbox out again, and then this is what happens.
So yeah, that's the aisle. You know, it's late. We're not necessarily the most intelligent or like awake right now. It's night.
I'm
No matter
actually
how much.
quite awake because I had chocolate.
I know you had Jack in the Box, Arby's, all that stuff.
This was just one time thing, but I put it this way. I went to Jack with Spencer, and then Dad went out with Joe to Arby's, and he brought back fries, and I was like, sweet. And then everybody came home from co-op, and Sam wasn't allowed to have the chocolate he had because he has a cold, so he had to give it to me. And Mom also brought home pizza.
Mm.
So I was like, well, this is a good day if I ever saw one. But it would be even better if I could have food with the person sitting in that chair right there.
So
It would be even better. But yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about the aisle, Tyler? Are you
that needs to fix everything that it's done wrong.
okay now? Okay, Hitler's done ranting now.
Yep.
Well, Tyler, I hope this discussion. I hope I was helpful with this discussion.
We'll probably have another discussion when humans come out, but
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Eventually, guys, I'll be getting a new camera, one that actually comes with a green screen software, so this won't be here. So that's hopefully within this month when the holidays come, because you know. So have a good night, guys, and Tyler, let's go play something, shall we? Leave a like
God bless you. God bless you all.
yeah. Leave a like and subscribe because there's always room for more. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.